Hey, do we look smart?
I think we must look smart.
Look at even my owl. He has glasses too.
That's cute.
I don't normally wear these, but Dave has pink eye, so he's wearing his glasses today.
Thanks
Don't
for
get too close.
Thanks for sharing my medical history, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Yes, I did contract pink eye. I'm no longer contagious, but
Thank goodness.
yes, but that's why.
But it looks good. I like the glasses.
Well, thank you. I'm
You
very
look
nerd.
smart.
Well,
You know how
I'm not.
you need all the help that you can get.
I
Actually,
can't.
I need to wear those glasses.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to fall. It's fall now,
It
and
is.
we are firmly in the life group season.
Yeah.
And so we're super grateful for all the work that you're doing. And this week we are launching into our new sermon series. It's called Going Public. And
About what?
taking
public?
Yeah, no, it's just taking our faith public.
Oh, our faith public.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense.
So, and then Steve this week is really going to talk about why that's important. And of course, in order to take your faith public, you actually have to have a faith, and it has to be a transformed faith. So if we're going public with like really shallow lives, a non-connection to Jesus that isn't transformed by him, if we don't actually reflect the character of Jesus, then that's not going to work very well.
That's true.
So-
And we don't want you to go public.
No, just stay
private.
Stay private. And the book of James, of course, is the brother of Jesus is the half brother of Jesus, who they have a different dad. That was a
That would
joke.
be why. Oh, that's true. Oh my gosh, I'm
There it
so
is.
slow.
It's
Yes,
okay.
He does have a different.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
And so he was the half brother of Jesus, and he's writing to the church in Jerusalem, and his words are kind of a recapitulation of some of the teachings of Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount. It's a little bit, and it's not an easy book to read.
Yeah.
So,
But
anyway,
it's pretty practical.
It's super practical.
Yeah.
So, and that brings us to the thing we want to talk about real quick. We are going to, just so you know why we do life group discussion questions every week in the bulletin. And it's kind of my, I guess it's my job.
It is completely your job.
It's my job. So that's kind of my job. And the reason we do it is not because we just want to put something in the bulletin. We want to do it because we want to turn, a lot of the research that we've looked at, a lot of the things that we've seen is, if you just go to a sermon, if you just go to a weekend message and just hear something, then you leave, it just kind of dies there.
Yeah, they call it the asphalt graveyard.
Yeah.
The parking lot.
Yeah, it just dies. But if you actually have a thing to take notes and then you interact with questions, discussion questions that deal with that passage, and if the church or the teachers are intentional about saying this scripture must change us in some way in the coming year, then you have a chance to take the message from an hour on Sunday into a week-long conversation with your spouse, with your roommates, with your friends, with your buddies.
So you don't even have to necessarily use the sermon-based material in your life group in order to get so much out of those questions.
No,
you could take it and use it personally.
We'd like you to, but if you don't, there are amazing groups that don't. Just having the ongoing conversation about what the sermon is talking about, especially when we get into James. Like, for example, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be preaching and James 2, and there's this part where James says you have to be slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to anger. That is worth reflecting on. Yeah. That is really worth trying. And then James actually says, if you don't do this, your religion's actually a farce, and you're deceived. And the word deceived, of course, is used almost exclusively for the tempter, Satan. So we have to be different. And so it's worth taking some time to figure out, am I slow to speak? Am I quick to listen? Am I slow to anger? And if not, what does that mean? And how can I involve God in becoming more like that? If we don't do that, then it's just a dude talking for 35 minutes on the stage. Yeah. And we want to be different.
Well, and one of the resources that Dave offers for you as life group leaders only that you have access to are the leader notes that go even deeper. So there's the questions in your worship folder, but then there's also beyond that, deeper things with which you unpack to help leaders as they lead their groups.
We try to post something on Facebook once a week just to give you a heads up about what's coming. And the other thing that you have is if you have questions about anything at any time, email me. And I will get back to you ASAP. You are, I would say, a priority. Like it goes Steve Clifford, Dana Clifford, and then you guys in terms of my response, quick time.
What about me?
You're lower.
Yeah.
But your office is just right next to mine.
I hear you all the time.
Yeah, that's true. But you have A1 priority. So if there's something you have questions about, if there's something you want more information about, please let me know, and I will get back to you literally as fast as I can.
Yeah,
So
and you're really good about that.
I am.
He is.
I try to be.
Yeah.
So that's something. So if you have questions about the how to lead your life group or what to do about this, or if there's a question that confuses you, and again, use the questions that you think are good. We put more questions than we think you should use and can use. So just take the ones that are interesting to you. And if there's a question that's stupid or dumb, or just throw it out. I don't care.
Throw it out.
Yeah, this is mileage may vary. Just use what you need. This is not scripture.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
But you do a great job.
Oh,
so there's lots to.
There's lots in there, but just take what you need. And so have freedom. Just take what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And sometimes for a lot of life groups, the only question is, what do you think about the sermon, and how's your week going? So,
yeah, you can go for miles on those two questions alone. It's true.
And so these are just things to think about. So.
And then just a couple of housekeeping things, if you will, as we're moving towards the end of our first month together. If you have been meeting for a few weeks now and you know for certain that there's a few people that used to be in your group, if you're a group that's continuing on from last year, but maybe they've moved out of the area or just maybe are taking a break from life groups, please go into church teams and in your the way that you can as leaders and go ahead and delete them from your group. That may change your group's kind of, what do you call it? Instead of being closed or full, you're now have more space in your group. So email us, let us know that so that we can open your group up for people that are constantly looking for groups throughout the year.
It's kind of like adjusting a roster in fantasy football. So just think of it as that. No, don't think of it.
Sure. Yeah, that. So do that. And if you have people that you know are committed to your group, they're new to your group, go ahead and add those people to your group as well so that, you keep track of them this year.
The big thing, the final thing that I think we want to say is there have been so many people who have moved from the back row of the church from just attending to belonging. And that's a testament to, you guys. And so our church will not change. We will not become more like Jesus unless we have really dynamic life groups. And so people are moving from attending to belonging. And it's our prayer that growth track just continues at a precipitous rate. So we're super grateful for you.
It's a big word. I think that means quickly or continue or something. Yeah. I'll look it up later.
So it's just a big win for those folks, and that means a lot. That means a lot to us. Yeah.
So thank you for what you do, the time and effort that you put into your studying beforehand to be prepared, but also just the way that you love those that are coming and allowing them to have a place to belong.
Absolutely. Well, we will see you very soon.
Couple weeks. We'll
be
back.
And we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
See you.